Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of the Balance Podcast. My name's Josh, and I'm excited to bring you along on this journey as we dive deep into a real, raw world of being an entrepreneur and business ownership. So if you're someone that's looking to just start their business or have already started, you're in the right place because we're going to go through the highs and the lows, lessons learned, and everything in between. So let's get started. So first, I want to go through and introduce some of the equipment that I use here in my office to help complete some of my orders. This is my Racoma EM1010 10 needle embroidery machine. A 10 needle embroidery machine means it can hold 10 different colors at one time for a very elaborate design. This here is my 40-watt diode laser. This bad boy can cut through 1-inch wood like butter. I also use it for acrylic, glass, stone, and many other applications. And the goal of this channel is super simple. It's to help individuals like you navigate the first steps of becoming an entrepreneur. Trust me, I know how overwhelming it can be to start a business. I've been there. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to feel like you're spinning your wheels, trying to figure out what to do next. That's why I created this space, to be real with you and to share my experiences and hopefully save you from some of the struggles that I went through. And what better way to learn than hands-on training? I got an order that I need to fill today, so you guys are gonna follow along as I make some shirts. So let's talk about Balance Brand. It's been a wild ride the last 2 years. It definitely has not been easy. For starters, the first thing that we dealt with was finding the perfect material to make our shirts with. We started with vinyl and a Cricut. Weeding is a pain in the butt. For anyone that uses Cricut or vinyl, they know that weeding is a pain in the butt. Next was our printable vinyl. Printable vinyl was nice. You could print out full images onto the vinyl and then use the Cricut to cut it out and place it on there. But it felt heavy on the shirt. You could just tell that there was something on top of or layered on top of the shirt, and it would create like sweaty space in between you and the shirt. The next thing we went to after that was, I think we did one more thing. I don't remember what it was. It was something to do with vinyl and the printable vinyl. The Caesar stuff. I didn't like that too much. Finally, we did some research, started looking into it. We wanted to create our own clothing brand, so we started looking at manufacturers. That takes a lot of time and preparation. So we did some more research, looked into DTG, which is direct to garment printing, where you would place the shirt onto almost like a heat press square, and then it would be like an embroidery hoop that goes over it to keep it in place, and then it would go into a printer and the printer would print directly onto the shirt. Cool, not efficient, super slow, couldn't knock out a lot of shirts in a fast period of time. Next best thing was direct to film printing, DTF. This is, in the beginning, a very new technology. They were converting Epson printers to use DTF ink and other things like that. Now they have their own set of DTF printers. The DTF printer I have, a DTF or DTG Pro Fusion J printer. It's a 13-inch print surface. So that's what we decided to go with. And then that was a whole nother learning curve. You had to learn how to use the software that would talk to the computer so that you could print it out, CAD link. They have a lot of options, knock me out black. So if you're using black shirts, you want to take the black ink out to give it more breathing space. Another big thing with DTF printing is you can't do big solid prints because it's going to be kind of like the printable vinyl. Not as thick, but it's still going to feel like there's a layer on there. There's a ton of settings that you can use within the program to help alleviate that layered feeling, like printing it out in little dots to giving it negative space in between. to making designs that have a lot of negative space. So when I say negative space, I mean like the space in between this A or the space in that E. Space where the shirt's gonna show through, that's your negative space. So those types of designs are great for DTF printing. And then as long as you can get a color to match, if you get a color match between the ink and a shirt, you can knock out that color to give it a little bit more breathing room. That way it doesn't feel as heavy on the front of the shirt or the back. But once we figured that out, the next step after that was figuring out the environment. It's a very temperamental, that has to be maintained on a daily basis. It's a very intricate piece of equipment. So we had to learn that. And starting out at a small business, setbacks like that, those little setbacks, at the time seemed like huge roadblocks. And that's a big mental block for me. I hate when I have friction when I'm trying to move forward. That's one thing that I know it comes with the territory. I know it does. But I don't know. I like to just glide through it. So DTF printer, environment, had to make sure the environment was right. Had to make sure we could use the software correctly to get good prints. And once we learned all that from buying like pre-made designs that were already pre-made, learning how to print out this, that, and the other, we had to figure out how to design. I've never touched Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator a day in my life, ever, before I started my business. Never even opened the program, never even downloaded it on my computer. So I downloaded it. I took 2 weeks. I studied, got on YouTube, watched some training videos, practice for 2 weeks straight until I figured out how to make my logo and my designs. So now I know how to make basic designs. I know how to make basic logos. I can start promoting that I'm able to do that at this time. So we got that far. So now we have our printing. We have our printing method. We have the skills to print the images. And now we have the skills to design the images, all while doing the business. I'm doing all this while I do the business. I just hopped into it one day. My wife knew how to run the Cricut. She taught me the basics and I just took on after that. I just came in here after work every day, hopped on YouTube, watched a video and practiced. Watched a video, trained. Watched a video, practice. Watched a video, train for a long time, dude, a long time. And then now that we got we're proficient. We're proficient at making our designs. We're proficient at printing the designs and we're proficient at assembling the products. Now that we've got all that under control, now we can go out. Now I was promoting a little bit with friends and family saying, hey, I'm starting a business. If you need a shirt, let me know. I need the practice. I need to do some designing. I got you. So now, got all the designs. I got a little bit of business coming in here and there to help me do stuff for other people. So I know the reason I want to do that and do a customization shop while I build my brand and work on getting my logo is so that I can learn what people like. What type of colors they like, what type of designs they like, where do they like things placed on their shirt, those type of things. So we did that for a while. We started doing pop-up shops. We started doing festivals. We had a great inventory of shirts that I had been practicing on. I bought a laser. We had started doing laser engraving. So another thing about small business, it's nice to have that one thing that you're good at, and you really need to practice on that and make sure that you can do that with your eyes closed, because that's going to be your bread and butter. That first initial product that you find a niche for, you need to stick to that and you need to perfect it. Perfect it. And once you get that perfected and people see that you have it perfected and you start getting that, then you can start looking into other products. So we got really good at making t-shirts, graphic designing. People started asking hats. The hats became real popular. The leather hats, the leather patches started becoming really popular. People started asking about those. So I did some research. I looked into it. Bought a small learner manual laser, super simple laser. I did all the settings myself, focusing it in, moving it around, setting the like the surface area for it to work, the working surface, the working area, setting the working area, all that type of stuff, so I can learn about the laser. What temperaments do a laser have? What environment does the laser work best at? Does it like high humidity? Does it like low humidity? Because the DTF printer likes high humidity with low air. The laser doesn't mind about humidity, but it needs a good airflow. So, two different pieces of equipment, two different environments, one area. The hassle, it's the obstacles, the opportunities are there to figure out, and the obstacles are tough. But so what we did is we moved the printer into the laundry room where humidity all the time is really great in there. We print out of there, bring it in here, cut it up, things like that. And then there's the balance, the whole meaning behind our business. I'm a father of 4. I got a 14-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old on Tuesday, a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old on Tuesday. I'm a father of 4, working a full-time job, trying to build a brand. I'm sure there's many of you that are struggling just as same as I am. It's exhausting. Some nights I'd be up till 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, working on designs, printing them out, trying to press designs without waking the kids up. I ain't gonna lie, it's tough, but it's where all the growth happens. I want this podcast to be a resource for you, a place where you can come to learn from our mistakes and win. And hopefully you'll be able to take something away that'll help you along in your journey. Oh, make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell. That way you can get notified every time I upload a video. And when we hit 100 subscribers, we'll do a giveaway. And until next time, remember, strength and honor.